It's you? Okay.
Is that what you're hearing?
I'm gonna call you Police Academy. Oh my goodness. We're live. It should be up. Episode 88 of the Black Multiverse Theory podcast. Hey, everybody.
Hey, y'all.
Okay. Wow, somehow all the Harriet pages still right here on the overlays, but not when we needed them to be. I don't know how that happened.
I honestly
No, I mean, so it's Mercury retrograde stuff. Mercury is still in retrograde. Mm-hmm. Let me know when you're ready. Okay. Sounds good. I'll be over here. Somehow it feels like it's been a long time since we've done this for me this week. I don't know why it feels that way. It feels I've lived 100 lives since our last meeting. That's what it feels like.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 88, we think, of the Black Multiverse Theory podcast. Committing on that. So we have about 12 weeks left, about 3 months until the 2-year anniversary.
100.
Oh, no, it's the 100th episode. Thank you. I'm like, what are we celebrating again?
We are celebrating.
I even did the math and then forgot. So,
100.
yes, 100th episode, we'll have special guests calling in and joining us and talking about what their favorite episodes were. We'll do some recaps, and it's going to be fun.
I like it.
Yes. So, how was your last week?
Last week was it was interesting. It was really good.
Yeah.
We were prepping a lot for the Harriet Tremendous Day reading.
That is true.
So there was a lot of prepping for that. A lot of work movements. Valentine's Day happened, and my girls gave me wonderful gifts. Shout out to my girls.
Yes.
Nyla and Leanna. They did give me candy and paper couch with cushions.
Okay, made out of paper.
Made out of paper.
Engineers, that's amazing.
It was a card, so when you opened it, the couch popped out.
That is incredible.
Leanna's, I told her she was an engineer the other day.
Yeah.
And then you have to be very careful what you tell children, because if you tell them that they can do anything, they will try to do anything. So I told her that she's an engineer, and she immediately decided that we were going to build a car together.
Yes.
So she wanted to build it. She started with materials that would get easily destroyed, like paper, cardboard. She wanted to use the body as a gigantic plastic cup or styrofoam cup. That's what she wanted to use for the body of it.
I like it.
But I was thinking about it, and I was like, maybe this might be an actual project for me and her to kind of.
It would be fun. I had a young man who was, I have all of these adopted nieces and nephews around. Well, he was one of my adopted nephews, and he made his mother call me because he was like, yo, I'm trying to make a robot. Can
Mhm.
you please call Auntie? Because I know she's the one that I'm supposed to talk to about this. So,
That's what's up.
I mean, now's the time to foster that stuff. My dad told me that I was an engineer. And I was like, whatever. And then I was like in my 30s. And I was like, I thought he didn't know me. But I just didn't know what an engineer.
You didn't know me.
I didn't know.
You didn't know you.
No, I didn't know what an engineer really was. It just sounded like math and science machines. Like, that's what I heard. Right? But he was like,
science machines.
Yeah. And largely the things I do now are a lot of the things that I did coming up anyway. So.
There are great things that you do.
Yeah. Yeah, many of the things I do, I've done the whole time.
Yeah.
So this last week was really cool.
Really? What was
it? So we had Harriet's Tremendous Day book launch reading right here at Aphrodisiac Studios, which I call it now.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to Greg Davis, who made it possible. Also, Nigel was tech for the day because we switched spots and I was in front of the camera. And then also Miss Sherelle, who was our stretching and dancing expert.
From Soca Fit.
Yeah, and she helped to get everybody engaged. And we were all the consummate professionals and just kept the show rolling.
That's great.
We stayed on. I feel like if you read a kid a story and they're like, "Can you read me another story?" I feel like that is the best feedback that you can possibly get. If they're like, "No, I'm good," I did lose a couple children along the way. I could see their moms like trying to grab them and get them back in front of the computer, but I get it. But it was a lot of fun. We had a good time. Kyle called in and we just talked through the drawing of the front and back covers.
Mm-hmm.
Things that we'll do in the future if we ever do Harriet again is have background music for that part.
Yeah.
Even
the thing about background music.
Background music.
Unlicensed background?
Yeah, you can find it.
Okay. There's lots of music that's out there. But I would recommend just paying for the licensing.
I could, but I could also put on like LeVar, who makes beats, Tim, who makes beats. They just make beats. So I could just take something that they do already and give them.
Yeah.
Slide them some skin.
Yeah. But I mean, it was great. Like the whole thing was great. So it just actually proved that when Black people put their minds to something, that we can do.
Yeah. Also, yes. Big shout out to also Christine from Paperclip Creations, who said two things to me that I'm going to repeat on the air today. The first thing she said is, "I'm really enjoying the Black Multiverse podcast. Like, I really like it." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, thank you. I appreciate it." Yeah. And the second thing that I'm going to repeat is that her daughter, who is one of my also good friends named Maya says to her, "Mom, I really like you and Nilo."
Nice. It doesn't get much better than
I'm like, okay, that's a cosign on the friendship.
That's good.
She's like, "Mom, I really like you and Nilo." So, yeah, shout out to Paperclip Creations. If you guys have gone before the COVID hit, we've had a few events that have had face painting. Christine is our resident face painter. She also makes these really amazing balloon
She's so amazing.
Things, like creations, like literally. And you'll see it. We Lit, I believe we'll have a balloon wall.
Yeah.
So we'll be working that out.
I think that the Bethel Apostolic Church as well
needs a balloon wall.
Yeah,
she'll
for their
do
events. We're trying to do some outdoor events.
Yeah.
So balloon arch, balloon walls.
Mm-hmm.
It's very elegant.
So. Yeah. I enjoy it. She uses different sizes of balloons, round ones and oval ones.
Yeah. This latest creation she did was really good with different sizes.
Yes.
It was really cool.
She donated it to Harriet's Tremendous Day book launch. So if you guys like that, but you want grown-up stuff like that, then it would be We Lit is going to be on March 6th. You may have seen we did a video with Oodle Noodle, and they
Oodle
came in. So
Noodle.
shout out to Oodle Noodle and Joanne, who made that possible. Our resident
graphics designer.
One of our resident graphic designers.
Yes.
Also, a super big shout out to, I guess that whole team. I don't remember, what is the guy's name who did the actual interview? Club Monaco?
Jay?
Shout out to Jay and the team. Sorry.
Jay and the Oodle Noodle team.
Yes, so, and was it John? Was John the guy behind the camera? The guy behind the, sorry. Anyway, wonderful editing who put it together. I'm sure that I got the wrong names.
The video editor was great.
Yeah, everything was really cool. So check out Oodle Noodle Gram. You can check out that Goshen No, and over the next couple of days you'll see it across all the things.
It will be good.
Yes, and they helped us. And also shout out, because we're talking about We Lit right now, shout out to Sun Michaud, who is going to be talking about finding your authentic voice. He teaches Gullah Geechee at Harvard University. Also, Dr. Charmaine Nelson is going to be talking about how she does her historical, how she digs up her historical facts. Mm-hmm. And she is a teacher, I believe, at Duke, in Halifax, mm-hmm. and used to be at McGill. And you can check her work out at blackstudies.ca. She actually has a whole website about Black Canadian history.
Nice.
And one of the things that I believe comes from what she says is that we kind of all have to do our part with whatever we're doing towards this one goal. So everybody has a place. And a super huge shout out to Desmond Cole. So excited that we were able to connect, and he was down for the cause. And he also picked 2 local grassroots charity to donate his speaker's fee to.
Which is really admirable.
Yeah, super awesome. We had a conversation about when you're at the level where you're getting paid for profiting from Black oppression, pretty much. Then there's a certain point where we have to have some of what we do go back and be able to give that back to those same people, and further the cause rather than just being out here making money on it. Which is why you don't see people like Jane Elliott or Tim Wise on my wall, because
really good with different.
I have issues with non-Black people making money off Black bodies.
I hear that.
So we've got the comments up. So that's it. That I'll probably talk about We Lit 19 times.
So that's our week. That was basically
the week. Yeah.
Long and short of it, just keeping safe out there. Though that cold snap was
brutal.
Brutal
is the word. Yes, it was really rough.
So for those of you watching who had trouble with your cars, trouble getting places, trouble on the road, all the trouble with your furnaces and hot water tanks this week.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. We really, really understand and we empathize.
It was a struggle.
With you. It was a great struggle. Yeah. I had to. One of my vans, my plumbing van, I should say, is down right now, and somebody has ripped out the block heater cord. Mm. So I personally, because I'm that guy, I'm going to go and reconnect a cord to it. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to go as far as to shrink wrap it and really do a full job,
repair. Okay.
or if I'm gonna if I'm gonna definitely repair it. It's just a matter of how extensive the repair is gonna be. So
Okay.
I already bought a splitter and a heat warmer.
Okay, nice.
Aisha says we should throw the whole country away, and honestly,
They have a
would
cold
agree
snap
with
in
you.
Houston, Texas right now.
Yeah, Houston, Texas is like, even if you went to the States, this cold is brutal.
It's rough, yeah.
And so we've been talking about that. I watched quite a few shows this week about global warming, about us, and how we are destroying part of our planet. By building and building and building, we are moving a lot of the predators that take care of the prey that houses bacteria and disease. We're killing the predators by moving our buildings further and further into the forests and the woods and the marshlands and the wetlands and stuff like that. And so now these bats, rats, mice, they're all now moving closer to the city, and then there are young children playing under trees where these animals live, and then they continue to give disease,
right?
Much like coronavirus or SARS or Ebola. So
right.
These things now,
which I did not know was from bats.
Yeah. So,
I didn't know.
Well, yeah. That's why they're saying in the beginning that the Chinese were eating bats, and that's why the issue.
No, not corona.
SARS?
No,
Ebola?
No. Ebola. Yeah.
They were saying that the Chinese were eating bats, and that's
how Ebola got there too?
That's what they're saying. Corona got there because they know about Ebola.
Oh,
so that's
Ebola set that.
That's what set that in motion. Okay. But the funny thing about it is, as we continue to expand, a lot of these things are happening to us.
Okay, you ready for the scroll?
We are ready for.
We're kind of in there. Scroll. Okay, we're kind of in there.
We're in the scroll.
Okay, so this week was the week of apologies.
Wow.
2 major apologies. Justin Timberlake released a statement about him being young and dumb and how he's sorry now. Mm-hmm. And that he has seen all the texts and seen all the tags and is ready to pretty much learn about why he sold out both Britney Spears and Janet Jackson.
And this is on documentary, right?
Yeah, the documentary. So it was in response to this documentary. I believe it's called "Framing Britney Spears." Mm-hmm. It's on Hulu, which I do not have, and I refuse to subscribe to. It is the final frontier of television subscription that I just refuse. But maybe, perhaps, I'll go over there. But it's over there. Justin Timberlake apparently is like, they pretty much frame about how he was like extra toxic during the relationship, and there was a lot of stuff that he did that contributed to her being in the situation she did under conservatorship, which we did discuss on this podcast. Oh, I thought you were going to put on Cry Me a River. Because that's how I was feeling about it.
Yeah, I could do that with you.
And also someone else said that Justin Timberlake just needs to run Marsha Ambrosia her money and her credit for this song, because it's pretty much all her, and he's apparently barely on it. And you think that Justin Timberlake should be forgiven, right?
For what?
Well, firstly, for the documentary that we didn't see and whatever he did to Britney Spears. But secondly, and more importantly, what he did to Janet Jackson in terms of being a part of that whole Super Bowl scandal.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
What?
Are you sure you're talking about me? I said this to you?
You feel like you should not be forgiven? I thought you felt like the apology was solid.
the apology that he made online,
Yeah.
I said it seems genuine because I felt that his PR team was phenomenal.
Okay, fair enough.
Don't get
Fair
it
enough.
twisted.
I didn't want you to put words into your mouth.
Don't get it twisted.
So
The thing about Janet Jackson and the thing about that whole Super Bowl thing is I literally thought and to this day I still up in the air with it. I feel like it was a huge publicity stunt. On behalf of them, the Super Bowl, everybody. I think Janet Jackson probably was in on it, but I think what happened was because I felt at the time that Janet Jackson got her garment ripped off.
It ripped off. I'm sorry. Let us rewind. At the time that Justin Timberlake ripped off Janet Jackson's garment,
right?
Let us reframe it how it should be said.
So at the time, actually, I'm not going to reframe it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time that it got ripped off,
okay,
she had a taped nipple thing on her nipple.
Yeah. So.
Right. So that's not normal.
Yeah, it is normal that you would wear pasties in situations where
you're going to expose your boobs. Yeah.
Or maybe that you might accidentally.
And she had a complete button off, like a rip button off thing. Yeah. So
listen, if Janet Jackson said it was an accident, it was an accident. So let us go with that.
I haven't heard Janet Jackson's side either.
Okay, so
but I watched it live on the Super Bowl, and she didn't seem surprised.
You didn't watch Janet Jackson's entire career get stripped for her in the aughts after that happened?
I found out that the decision that was made in the wake of that caused her to have way more of a hit than Justin Timberlake.
Right.
And so
he didn't say anything about it.
And for that, I feel like he should come correct for that. But the whole scenario seemed like something.
What do you think he should do?
I don't know. I don't know what he should do.
Do you think the apology is valid for that?
I feel like Janet should tell him what she feels that he needs to do.
She's not even talking to him still. She said when she's ready, she'll pick up the phone.
There you go. When she's ready, she'll pick up the phone. But
when she's ready, but I feel like
is, did she reach out to Justin after? Because the whole thing, the whole routine that they did, they practiced this routine. It's something they did. I know. And then they went for a shock and awe moment. He ripped off.
You're assuming that to be true. And I'm assuming what they said, which is that it was an accident. That is what I'm assuming to be true. Yeah. If you're saying that they are co-conspirators, fine. If you're saying they're co-conspirators, then we're still talking about a woman being unjustly punished.
Yeah. We still are talking about
specifically
that. And that particular action of being unjustly punished is terrible.
Why would she be upset with Justin Timberlake if, he's the one who actually ripped the wrong thing or pulled the wrong thing? I don't know what the design of the outfit was.
And neither do I.
So, he's the one who actually physically did the thing, right? So, why would she be upset with him if it was planned the whole time?
In the wake of what happened, in the wake, he probably went into a cone of silence. He probably just decided, I'm not going to say anything to the press, which he didn't. I'm not going to do anything about it, which he didn't. Mm-hmm. And he just walked off. His PR team was like, don't say anything. Distance yourself from her. And he left her to get crucified. And that's why you're going to get upset. The whole thing got planned. If you and I planned something,
I don't believe that. We're working.
That's fine.
We're working on two different base suppositions. You're supposing it was planned, which there's no proof that it was planned. You're assuming that because she was wearing a pasty, it was planned. I'm assuming because they literally said it was an accident, that it was an accident.
As a musician, and when you watch how things progressed as a musician, I'm just saying as a musician, a performer and an entertainer. Mm-hmm. When you're on stage, there are certain movements that they made to get closer together, to get to the point where they were at this point where he stood there, put his hand there, and then ripped, right?
Right.
So this whole thing, the action was so seamless and it went through that when it happened, it happened. Now, in the end, to save face, because the entire NFL and all the fans and all the people and all her fans and all his fans came down and was like, that was inappropriate.
on
the
Janet
only thing,
Jackson.
there's no way, shape, or form
Mm-hmm.
is it going to be like, yeah, we planned it and that's it. Nobody's going to do this. Everybody's going to be like, deny, deny, deny. We did not plan on doing this. We did not plan on having it done.
Okay.
This is how it is.
I'm not even arguing that part. I'm gonna. If they said it was accident, it was accident. They said it wasn't. That actually doesn't change what happened right after. Whether or not it was planned doesn't actually change.
And we're both in agreement with that.
What happened after?
We're both in agreement with how it went through. You know, it was in the end how he dealt with it, how it was dealt with on a whole, was unacceptable. Mm-hmm. So the fact that it took him this long to do a formal apology is even the worst. It's even the worst part of it, right? Yeah. So he took this long to do it.
I feel like he needs to run coins if he's gonna apologize this much. I feel like he needs to come with the dough.
I don't know what happened in that scenario. I don't know if the NFL was like, we're not gonna pay you.
Well, what happened was that Janet Jackson, because of that, lost a whole bunch of endorsements. She lost deals. She had a whole bunch of stuff canceled. She had stuff. None of that happened to him. So there was no professional repercussions for him. There was only professional repercussions for her, and those repercussions were even worse and even more tilted for her because he didn't say anything about it at the time. I feel like that's the money he needs to run it.
I feel very much that she needs to come up with the solution, what she feels is right. I can't tell you what's going to make her feel better.
Totally, fair enough.
And then he gives her all this money, and
sure,
I'm still mad. Like
he's not paying for a favor. I just feel like
to make it right. He needs to. They need to talk, and he needs to make it right. Okay, that's how I feel.
Fair enough. The second apology of the week is the Miss USA pageant apologized to Vanessa Williams.
Oh,
all these freaking years later.
So
another one set bag of years later. Here they come.
That Vanessa Williams is my ex-wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You love her?
Her last name is my last name.
Oh, okay. I thought she was like your auntie.
No. She's gorgeous. Yeah. She's phenomenal. She's a great person. She's done a lot in the community. And she's very respected, and I respect her as an individual. So she needs to get her coins too, because the way how they did her back in the day, and this is before some of our listeners and watchers are we frozen?
Oh, that's a good question. we're frozen. If we're frozen online.
We are very frozen.
Ecam is still running.
You got Ecam still going?
Yeah, still going.
Maybe it's my watch party.
Hopefully.
Let me just verify my Wi-Fi.
Hey, you guys, can somebody confirm if we're frozen or not in the internet land?
Yeah, you'll have to look at it on your end.
Oh, yeah, we're still moving.
No, but you'll have to look at the comments.
Oh, okay. But we're okay. It'll pop up. Yeah, so as Miss Tanya was saying, it is definitely a changing world. We just had a first lady who was naked a lot of places. Had a lot of nude situations going on.
She said you're not.
I'm not frozen. Okay.
I'm not sure how that is working.
Okay. It's the Roku.
No, it's not. It's my phone.
Oh, okay. Okay, so yes, Miss Universe pageant came out. The CEO, or the former Miss America CEO, Sam Haskell, issued a public apology to Miss Williams, stating, "I've been a close friend of this beautiful and talented lady for 32 years. You have lived your life in grace and dignity, and was it never more evident than during the events of 1984 when you resigned?"
1984 was a great year. I think I was close to grade school age. I think I was in grade 2 or so. But, so
It was a big year for you.
it was a big year because shortly after that I married Vanessa Williamson.
That's apparently weird. That was a
Very strange.
not sanctioned relationship.
Very strange. I'm not sure if she even knew we were in the same room. So that's why it didn't work out. But Vanessa Williams and everybody, she went through a huge disgrace, and this was back before social media. So you gotta think about how this word got around. It's like newspapers, like it's in print, going all around the world and all sorts of stuff. It is nuts.
I definitely have to rewind and check myself before I wreck myself, because I said Miss USA, but she was a Miss America.
Miss America.
Thank you very much. So I apologize, Miss Williams. Yes, let me get it right.
She didn't make it to Miss USA or Miss.
No, Miss America is the big one.
Miss America and Miss USA.
Miss USA is like.
What's the difference between Miss America and Miss USA?
It's the same difference between Coca-Cola and RC Cola. It has the place, but it's not Coca-Cola.
What?
RC Cola. It has a place, but it's not Miss America.
It's really not.
It's not Coca-Cola. So that's the difference.
Aisha says that it's Miss America is the big one.
It's the big one, yeah. And they did her dirty. And the rest of the apology is, though none of us currently in the organization were involved then, which is like a bullshit apology. But anyway, on behalf of today's organization, I want to apologize to you and your mother.
Yes. That's good.
Miss Helen Williams. I want to apologize for anything that was said or done that made you feel in a way that was less than the Miss America you are, and the Miss America you always freaking will be. He didn't say freaking, but
you got it. I got you. Paraphrasing.
I am paraphrasing.
Okay.
So finally, run her flowers. Also, please run her coins as well. I think she needs to go to civil court, because I would take that apology right to libel.
And run her sash.
Yes.
You gotta wear that sash.
Yes.
Forever.
Yes.
This is her sash. This is what she means.
Yeah.
She need to wear that sash.
And I'm yes. So I'm sorry that I Miss USA, Miss America, but that's what it was. A big week for apologies.
Big week.
Also, for non-apologies, Donald Trump was acquitted. Did that just happen?
They said that he went for his impeachment trial, and not enough
senators voted. And what's his name? Cruz was like, let me tell you something. It's not like you have to convince all these people. It's like one or two people. Mm-hmm. So apparently this thing was already set. But you know what? Political theater. Yeah. We know that. That's like when you have this big build up at the end of a season finale, and then it resolves. But you have to remember, it resolves in the beginning of the next season, so it's going to be a whack resolution regardless.
It is pretty whack.
Also, spring is coming, because Idris is pushing out at least one new leaf and possibly 3.
Yes.
And she knows, because she is the one messing with the sun all the time. So Idris said that spring is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything this week?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I had. I'm ready for you now. What you got?
Well, this week has been a very interesting week, because Carnival happened this week. In Trinidad, Grenada. I think it was the end of Trinidad and beginning of Grenada.
Well, Carnival happens many places right before Lent.
Right.
So Monday and Tuesday before Lent is typically Carnival Monday and Tuesday in a lot of places. So even if there's not like what we know to be Carnival, like Grenada's carnival is actually on the same weekend as Carrie West. But there's still always going to be a celebration right before Lent.
Right. So we have Farmer Nappy.
That's today, Carnival Tuesday.
Won the Soca Monarch. So congratulations,
with backyard party.
That's what he sang last in 2 years ago.
No, that was Kes.
If you want
that was last year. Sorry, yeah, you're right. Sorry, you're right.
Okay.
My bad.
So that wasn't last year. That was the year before that, 2019, which was a wicked year for Soca.
It's a nice year.
So this year he won.
It was a very he has a classic style. Lots of percussion, lots of rhythm. This year is a backyard jam. And it is. That's what we're doing. So
it was really good. And there were a lot of good soca artists that came out this year. A lot of the themes were social media and streaming themed. So you had online, you had stuff that, there was one guy said, "We are toxic."
That's Ricardo Drew and
Nadia.
Patrice. Who are toxic IRL.
So he's a signature.
Yes.
So there's that happened. Lots of people were gathering. Not much in Trinidad. In Trinidad, there, unfortunately, on a sad note, it was right before Carnival. A young lady got kidnapped and brutally raped and beaten and murdered. And so they had a lot to say about that, and the Prime Minister, I guess his team said they were going to go to the funeral, but the family said, "You're not invited, we don't like you."
What?
So there was a lot of issues. The Trinidad Guardian is like a gossip column.
You be on the stuff.
It is their newspaper, but it is funny to read. So I was reading it, and every paper is going through from the search to where to find her, as they tried to find her, and then when they found her remains and where her body was, and then stuff was inconclusive, and then another doctor came in and says blunt force trauma, and then they found the guy who did it, and then he killed himself. And so
what a story.
It is quite a story. So it is really what it is. Shout out to the family, condolences to them.
Definitely hearty condolences. That's terrible.
And that kind of led into Carnival. So
well, I'm sure that they're celebrating her still.
What did Tanya say?
I don't know. But she's not over here. She commented on a photo.
Oh. I thought it was over here. It keeps coming up when she's saying something. I'm like, I'm not seeing anything.
Let me check and see. I don't want to miss it. So I'll go to the page. What else you got?
So that's what I got for the scroll. Is basically Carnival is in town, and people are really moving forward with what's happening. So on our scroll, best wishes to everybody and all Zip people. Also, no, there's one more. Are we still talking about that guy?
Let's keep talking about him.
You think so?
Yeah.
I have something to talk about. Tory Lanez? Are we still talking about him? Why you just said let's keep talking? You said let's keep talking about him.
So I can't roll my eyes while you talk about him? Go ahead.
So Tory Lanez apparently took somebody's song and,
of course he did.
Remixed a gentleman's song. The guy made the song so for Tory Lanez to see if he wanted to collab on it.
Right.
Tory Lanez
and he stole it.
Tory Lanez did not respond.
Because he's a piece of garbage. Yeah.
He just took the song. So the guy called him out on social media, and Tory Lanez was like, "Yo, bro, it's cool, man. I really like the song. That's why I was boosting it. But if you want to talk, just call me, bro, and we can settle it." So then the guy was like, all right, cool. Just tag me in on the song, and then I will. What he did was he had YouTube, and everybody removed the song off off the medias, right? So everybody just removed the song, and he said, tag me in, and I will release the holds on your account, basically. And that's what happened. So that's the end of the scroll.
I'll be liking that guy. There's one more thing. This is a dramatic end to the scroll.
Oh wow!
So in Grand Prairie, there was a surgeon who taped a noose to the operating door, and the two surgeons working that day, one was South African and one was Nigerian. And this other surgeon taped a noose to the door and has been going through this tribunal, which has nary a black person on the board. And the tribunal came out, I believe it was sometime last week, and said that they did not have sufficient evidence that this thing that he did was racially motivated.
So a whole noose. So the guy who put the noose on, he's white from South Africa.
No, he's not from South Africa. He's just white from here.
Oh, he's white from here.
Yes.
And
this is Grand Prairie racism.
And the gentleman is
the two people
from Nigeria.
The surgeon that was working is from South Africa, and the surgical assistant is Nigerian.
So he put a noose on the guy's door thinking it was funny. On
the operating room door in the hospital.
Right.
When they were working. Like, they were the next shift on.
Why did you do that?
I can't think of a reason other than racism. I can't think of a reason, period. Like, even if you're like, racism, like, on what level of keep that shit to yourself? Like, I don't even understand, like, it's just so bizarre.
I can't even say keep it,
but it's fine.
I gotta say change. You gotta change it. You gotta change the way you think.
Fine.
The way you...
But it's also the reason why we don't trust the freaking medical system. And we were just Black History Month talking about Arthur Ashe. A lot of you have heard me say, start where you are with what you have, do what you can. It is a phrase that allows us to do many of the things that we do today, that you see in operation today, whether it's Melanistic Magazine or Black Multiverse Theory or even Aphrodisiac, honestly. So it is my personal mantra. That is Arthur Ashe. And you were just telling me today, this is the thing I didn't know, that Arthur Ashe got a blood transfusion and he got tainted blood.
Yeah.
And so now that's the reason we have to check all the blood.
That is one of the reasons why we have such stringent blood laws. So when you donate blood down to the blood donor clinic, they now have to check that for all types of stuff, from STDs to HIV to whatever, because of this very public event where he died 1993, age 49. And when he died of HIV and AIDS. He publicly announced his illness.
Wow.
Because Ashe is believed to have contracted HIV from a blood transfusion he received during a heart bypass surgery in 1983.
Wow.
So
that's terrible.
We were just talking about 1984. This is 1 year before Vanessa Williams
did all this stuff
from her thing.
Right.
So around this time, they were doing some foul stuff. In the end, he had to publicly announce that he had the illness. He had HIV, and in April of 1992, he began, working to educate others about HIV and AIDS. He founded the Arthur Ashe Foundation for the defeat of AIDS and the Arthur Ashe Institute for Urban Health before his death from AIDS-related pneumonia at the age of 49 years old in 1993. Yes. My parents loved Arthur Ashe. oftentimes my mom spoke about Arthur Ashe. In tennis, they love tennis. They love Wimbledon. They love the U.S. Open. They love the Australian Open. They love it all.
Mm-hmm.
So even Serena Williams, my mom and I were talking about Serena Williams, and her daughter is now getting trained now with a professional.
Really, that little baby?
Yeah.
Okay,
She's like,
girl.
She's great.
I need to follow her on Instagram too.
You gotta follow that. You become her auntie too, her godmother. Yeah. So she's there doing her thing, and it's people like Arthur Ashe that paved the way for all of the black tennis players that are now in the big time.
Awesome. So on that note,
we move to the screen.
We are going to move to the screen. So, what are you watching this week? We wrapped up Warrior.
We did. We wrapped
which was
up
fantastic.
Third season of Warrior.
Absolutely wonderful.
It was fantastic.
It is refreshing to see a Western that doesn't revolve around violent. Well, I mean, there's plenty of violent white people in there, but I mean, they're not the central cast. They're like, ooh.
I guess it doesn't revolve around them. They're not the hero.
They're not the protagonist. They're not the hero. Yes, they're not the hero. Exactly the words I want to say. They did drive a lot of violence of the time. So it's like historical fiction, they call it. So they have some things that are in there, but they change how it actually went down. It's making me learn a lot of stuff about San Francisco and the Chinese role in the Wild West and the frontier, and it's so interesting to me. Actually, it's like really, really fascinating, and the episodes were long and they're really like in depth. So I really, really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
I'm actively watching City on the Hill, which takes place in it's a time, what do they call it? A time period?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, we should talk about that too, but I'm not prepared to talk about it today. This white student alliance completely.
Aisha is also talking, for those of you who listen to the podcast but are not here live on Facebook. Aisha says, I saw something with the Edmonton School Board addressing an IG account called the White Student Alliance, created by racist students at Strathcona High School, mad that a Black Student Alliance
was created during Black History Month.
Yeah. A lot of people feel that every time Black History Month comes, a lot of people feel that when somebody puts black in front of something, that we are saying, we don't want anybody. Mm-hmm. And that might be true. And even if it's true, it shouldn't be something that people should get offended by.
Right.
For many, many years, Black people, First Nations, were not allowed to gather in certain places. We weren't allowed our own radio stations, our own TV stations.
Shout out to the Raven.
Our own bathroom. We had to go through the back. We were allowed to perform for you, but not eat at the same tables. We were allowed to do a lot of things. So you have NBC, ABC. Those are all white run TV stations. So when BET, when you have Black Entertainment Television, it is about Black people, it's for Black people. It is the reason why that it was created. This is something that has come through as a proud movement to give Black people something of their own, which is something that has been neglected and we've been held back from doing for many, many years. Whether it's through Jim Crow laws, systematic racism, which is still prominent to this day.
Systemic and systematic. That's what we just spoke about.
And also prison.
Which is also
systemic
and systematic.
It's all systemic and systematic. So all of these things have been happening And so when you see somebody create an IG account because they're like, freedom of speech, we can do what students
It's
want.
just the kids, and their parents are getting upset about it. And
any student alliance you have at school is not generated towards all children at school. I knew this when I went to Florida. I went to a predominantly black college while I was there. And while I was there, they told me, looked me in the face and said, you don't speak English. We need your money for beginner's English. And I said, actually, I am an honor student in English, and I am speaking to you in English right now. So I don't want to take beginner's English.
Yeah.
I want to take college level English and go forward.
Mm-hmm.
But they wanted the money, and they hired somebody who would sit there and take me back to get that money to go through. And I was like, nope, this is what's up. And I tried to fight it, but there wasn't a lot I could do at the time.
Right.
So I ended up taking beginners and then intermediate, and then I ended up taking college level and then going on from there. And I gave them the money. I gave them the money for all those years because you have to take it for a certain amount of time and pass it.
Yeah.
So these are the things that happen. So for any of the people who are not black or yes, not black. And you're on this show,
that's what we're talking
about. You're listening to this. Be aware that these things were created for a reason, and they maintain popular for a reason. The Black Students Alliance that's at Strathcona. I drove past Strathcona the other day. Strathcona is also the high school that our mayor attended, and so I was very interested to see this. But now there's a White Student Alliance. So voices need to be heard. If you are in disagreement with this, make your voice known. Yeah.
Okay. So back to what we're watching, because we just took a little deviation.
Back to the screen. So we are here at the screen. We are watching. We finished Warriors. Warriors was great. I want to see what happens next.
Yes.
With Warriors. It's one of the shows that I can't wait to
see the next season.
Yeah, it's the next season. We also watched The Expanse.
Yeah. Edging that along.
We're edging that one slow.
We lost somebody this last week. We're not going to have any spoilers, but one of the main crews is gone.
I really liked him too. Oh, sorry.
I did not love him, honestly.
I did like him.
With it.
But
he grew on me.
That's what the whole show is. Yeah. There are some people on that show that I don't really like. The protagonist, he's a
Jon Snow.
Jon Snow, you call him, but his name is Jim.
Jim.
Jim is what they call him. Like
Jim Winter.
So Jim, but it's really
action packed.
It's very action packed, and I think about the Belters differently in the show. The Belters are a race of people who have been oppressed. They are born. They didn't have a home on Earth. They didn't have a home on Mars. They live in the belt. They live between Earth and Mars, and they are treated terribly by both. They aren't allowed to have as much rights as those who are from either side, and they struggle to eat. They struggle for food. They struggle for everything.
Yeah.
And so now they are fighting back, and they are resisting, and they are painted with a brush of being the bad guy.
But and then what we learn is that they're not all the same. There's different factions.
Which
there always were, but.
And so some of them are the main heroes that I like Drummer. But others are like Incaro. I think his name is Incaro. Marco. So Marco has sent rocks that have Mars sprayed with Mars stealth tech on it, and
hurtling towards
Earth and killed millions of people.
It's just very guerrilla warfare thing to do.
Very, very much so. And so a lot of people are not down with it, and some are down with it. And the people from Earth are like, every one of these belters has to go now. So it's a whole group of people that are gonna, they either join Marco or die, or they join Marco and Earth is gonna come and kill them later. So they don't have a lot of choices.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to see what Drummer is gonna do to try to kind of change this system around.
Yeah, we should be creeping. No, we're in about the middle of the season now, right?
No, we ended it.
The whole season's over? Oh, crap. This is why I like binging things. I want the whole thing to be done.
We ended it. Man. Remember, we ended it with a new crew member.
Yes.
We ended it where we saw what Mars was doing.
Right.
We saw what was behind the rings.
Right.
And that's the end. So we're anxiously awaiting the next season of the Expanse.
City on a Hill.
City on a Hill
is some cop drama.
Yeah,
if you like
cop dramas,
dirty cops and investigations and DAs and stuff.
I have not liked a cop drama. I'm gonna date myself here. I have not liked a cop drama since New York Undercover. I think that was the only cop drama I've watched and enjoyed.
Okay. Fair enough.
So when there's stuff like The Wire or anything
you haven't even watched The Wire. It is so
very hesitant.
Good.
To,
I don't know what to tell you.
Because I'm just...
It is so good.
I'm
like so good.
I don't know.
Anyway. Best show ever.
We just so you know, just a heads up for everybody. As you can see me trying to fix my microphone over and over and over. It is causing me grief today, so I'll have to do something for next week. But we are gonna have merch pretty soon. You are gonna be able to
order Black Multiverse. Look at what Christina said. Stop talking and let me talk to the people. Order Black Multiverse merch, hoodies, sweatpants, what have you. We will have 2 different sets.
Christine said, "Watch The Wire!"
Caps, exclamation marks. I tried to get him to watch it, and he's like, "Oh, can we not another time?"
It's just a lot. It's a lot of drama, and I started watching
this
City on the Hill,
which is mad drama.
I started watching it because I was like, let me start this one, and so I started, that one, and I'm enjoying it. But it is a lot of drama.
It's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot going on. One family alone has enough drama.
Jeez, for a whole... It's Shameless. The show Shameless is one of the families. That it's a whole ecosystem of Shameless.
Rough. But I like it.
What are you listening to?
Teafannie.
Teafannie.
Teafannie is good. I love her accents on her album. It's really good.
She has, which is very 90s, these little skits in between all of her songs, which I find hilarious. Yeah, Christine said she used to watch The Wire annually. And Christine, I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched it a third time. Like, I did watch it 2 times. So I really wanted to, it's been a while. I'd like to watch it again. Like, literally the single only series that I'm like, I'll watch those 5 seasons, no problem. Anyway. Teafannie, I don't want to take away from her time. I'm a huge fan of hers.
Yeah, so
she's lyrically
I just got
excellent.
Onto her album.
Her flow is spectacular.
Flow is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, her flow is unbelievable.
Yeah.
She is
versatile.
She is great.
She can switch it up. She slows it down. She switches it up in one song.
Yeah, she's
really good.
Really good.
Yeah.
And her word placement is absolutely professional. It's just great.
I love her as a person too. She's actually really dope.
The music on it, I love the bass. I feel like it needs a little bit more bass tones in there. I would love to hear that. I'm not saying that your album is terrible by any reason. It's absolutely phenomenal.
It's the mixing.
I just want to see, I want to be able to hear it thump in my heart while you're spitting hot fire. You know what I'm saying? Hot fire, dial on, right? So I need I need that to happen.
We just want to say, she's hip hop, Christine, but she's
hip hop.
But she is, there's so many different kinds of hip hop. She's a hip hop you could definitely listen to.
It's capital TEA, capital
FANNIE.com, I think.
Yeah, and you can see her on Spotify. She's on Spotify.
Yeah, she is.
So you can kind of test out the waters and see what it is, but it is great.
Greg Davis says The Wire is one of the best series ever made. I'll try to tell you. I try to put him on, you guys. Thank you for coming.
To all you people out there with your harsh capital letters and
you deserve that.
Words you are throwing. I do not deserve this.
You deserve
All I'm saying is I need to be mentally prepared for a series, or else I'm gonna be
fine.
I'm gonna be like, wow, this is too much, and that has happened to me where I'm like, this is way too much drama for me. Let me come back to it.
One of the things they do with the series, which is I also love, is that it's like, let's say we talk about this all the time. We talk about systemic racism, right? Mm-hmm. The Wire literally breaks down the 5 municipal systems,
right,
and goes through the ways in which racism affects the people who go through that system.
Okay.
The first season is police. The second season, I don't remember what that is. The third season was the education system. The fourth season, I also do not remember what that is. And the fifth season is the media. Can someone tell me what the other 2 ones are? I don't remember.
Oh, Christine.
She said exactly. So your drama is not mounting.
Right.
You have different sets of characters and a different set of drama in every season. And each season is a full story. And then you go to the next season, which is a whole other extra story.
I like that, Greg. Okay, you know what? After I finish watching this particular one I'm on, which is called City of...
Politics of City on the Hill.
City on the Hill.
Is what we're watching now.
So City on the Hill. As soon as I'm finished that, I'll jump on The Wire. It's a slow burn.
Thanks, Christine. Thanks, everybody. And to support this choice, I would like to let the world know that I've watched every single episode of Cobra Kai. So I have definitely fulfilled my part. I watched the whole thing. I went from liking people to hating people. I pretty much hate every single character in that thing.
And so that you all know, I need everybody to know, especially y'all, everybody try to roast me for The Wire.
Cobra Kai.
I've been trying to get this lady to watch Cobra Kai for months.
It's true. Even force feeding, like putting it on.
Yeah,
making me pay attention to it. He's like, if I just have it like ambient noise while I'm working, I'll eventually get into it, and obviously that's what happens.
Yeah. So it'll be on. She watches it, but she got into the episode to the point where sometimes whatever she was doing before, she can't. she can't do it. So, how can you have never watched The Wire?
Greg, it's a cult classic, but we had to put him on. It's just sad because he's somebody that we care about, Greg, and he has not watched it.
Wait, I'm getting all little. There we go. Just so you know, Greg, I have. You have to have the words.
It's there.
Yeah, I could tell.
Somebody's calling me.
I have watched so much African American and Afro Canadian content. I literally live off of that kind of content. So I literally support it, even if I think it's not going to be that great, even if I think the direction is terrible, even if I think it's not that funny when it's supposed to be a comedy, even when I think it's not that scary when it's supposed to be scary. It's just one of those shows where there are 2 shows like this. So it's The Wire and Oz. I think it's Oz.
Which is another good show.
So those are.
I don't like watching prison shows though.
Those are 2 that I've been like, Okay, I will watch it.
You'll like it.
And I haven't said I won't watch it. I'm just saying I will watch it, but I want to get mentally prepared. Like, all right, this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
Because when I started watching the show, next thing you know, like I was watching The Expanse, and then you could ask her after every episode. I start talking like a belter the whole time. I'm like, we be going here and we have to get things together, and it's just like, okay, you're gonna do this.
It happens
every time.
Immersed. It's
yeah,
because
I get
it's
immersed into the show. So after I finish The Wire, of course I'm gonna have different accents. I'm gonna be talking.
It's on Baltimore.
Facts, B.
Be more.
It's not facts. That's New York. It's not. It's from Baltimore.
It's Baltimore. Yeah.
I'll have a Baltimore accent by the end. This is how it is.
And City on a Hill is actually Massachusetts. They don't have as strong of Massachusetts accent as they do in actual Boston and Massachusetts, but they do a little something.
Yeah, they have.
Thank God, because that Boston accent. Damn.
And it's Boston in 1993 about
Boston.
Because they on the TV they're watching stuff like the OJ, not the OJ trials. They were watching
Bill Clinton.
They were watching Bill Clinton, but they were watching Rodney King.
Christine, you haven't seen The Expanse? If you like sci-fi, you need to get on that. It is
sci-fi.
And I'm so glad you're getting in now. So 3 strong seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was like, you need to watch The Expanse. So
yeah, Expanse is actually phenomenal.
All right. Do you have a word?
Wait. I also have to tell people, because I usually...
Well, we have a couple things going on.
The storytelling, I hope so.
Yeah.
I usually do an old school show or a Asian kung fu movie. So I watched the Yin Yang Master.
Okay.
And the Yin Yang Master I watched. Very interesting because it just shows, a lot about perceptions and how people perceive certain things. And it had a lot of high-flying kung fu, a lot of swordplay.
I did not watch this.
Yeah, so
did you like it?
I did. I enjoyed it. It was...
Is it dub or subtitles?
It's dubbed and subtitles.
Oh, both. Okay. I don't like it when it's both.
Well,
because
they just turn it on.
They conflict.
You could just turn one of them. But
I'm like reading it, listening to it, watching it, and then taking an averages of 3. it's like, it's really different to watch both of those.
I wanted to watch another Asian show called, I think it's called Cooking with Fire or something like that. It's a cooking one.
Okay.
Because the reviews on it were talking about how Chinese food is very neat and tidy, but tasteless. And Korean food is very messy, but tastes great. And those are the comments that were underneath this video. So it made me.
I don't know enough about Chinese food to be.
I do not know.
I don't.
But they were doing all types because it's a fictional. It's not like a reality show.
Oh, okay.
So it's a fictional thing. So the guy's like pulling out the bones out of this fish that he had with tweezers, and he's just, and then the other guy's taking his hatchet, and he slices down the side, and you see him kind of slice, like in a moment, he slices this fish, and then next thing you know, I don't know, Greg. It's just people that were on. It was on Facebook, so I don't know who exactly those people are. And I don't know what their relationship to the food is. But the guy slices down like this, and the skin, he literally slices it clean, like the meat clean off the skin, like with his hatchet of all things. So they're like, his blade play is amazing. It's the people that are.
Is it a mockumentary?
It is not a mockumentary, but it's like a reality. It's a mock reality show.
Okay.
So it has a storyline about this guy. He's from Korea, and he's grown up a certain way. And he's poor, but he knows how to cook. Versus this master chef from China.
Okay.
So the only knock on Chinese food is the fact that they believe anything
with its back to the sky is horrible. All right.
Okay. Okay. Well, there you go.
Anything else I have to say, I know it's going to be classified as xenophobic, and even though it might be acceptable now, I know it'll be unacceptable as this podcast changes. So let us move on.
Okay, so down to the word.
Wait. Before you go into the word, we want to talk about We Lit is definitely coming up on March 6th. So that is going to be 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
We Lit.
We are also going to be celebrating the opening of Black Every Day. This is the 15th year of Five Artists, One Love. So they'll be curating in the main space of the AGA. So congratulations to all those 15 artists that are going to be on display there. And that opens on March 6th as well.
March 6th.
And then we have a February 27th. We have two things coming up on February 27th. We have the Afro Quiz coming up.
Afro Quiz.
That will be during the day, so you can check out AfroQuiz. What is it? Google it. I don't know what the address is. It's .com or .ca?
Yeah, just go on Google and say
Afro Quiz.
Put it in there.
I don't know if it's .ca or .com, but the next thing that you're going to do is log on to
YouTube or Facebook for Gospel Night, because Gospel Night for the National Black Coalition of Canada is live and still in effect.
Still in effect.
Who are fans of Gospel Night, who've been there for 30 plus years of watching local musicians and gospel choirs and groups perform, sing, minister. I have emceed this event probably for the last let's say 5-6 years at least, and it is amazing. We have a great time. This time it's going to be online. It's absolutely free.
Yes.
But we are asking that those who come online, if you have a donation that you would like to give towards it, please bring your coins.
Do that.
We'll be providing you with a way to do it. This is on Facebook Live on the NBCC Edmonton page, and on YouTube. Also on NBCC on YouTube.
And Edmonton. I'm pretty sure that once the actual broadcast starts, then Nigel will share it on his own page as well. Yeah?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, and if you go on Nigel the MC, you can also see the promo video for that. That is live and large and in charge.
Okay.
And it is there. Their booklet, the NBCC booklet, should be out very shortly, where you can get your own wonderful commemorative booklet, which is one that they have every year.
Yes.
Celebrating Black History and Black History Month.
And Black people in the community. Shout out to all of the folks doing things.
Yeah.
The word.
The word of the day. The word of the week. Yeah, I guess the word of the week. The word of the week is use the people that are unique. The people that are unique, the people that want to help you, they're the ones that can do the things or push you to do things that you yourself don't believe that can be done. There's a lot of dreams and hopes that we all may have, and a lot of things that we can see each other doing into the future. Sometimes the people around you put you in a box. You're a comedian, you are an entertainer, you are a plumber, you are a hairstylist, you are an engineer, you're a publisher, you're whatever. You're a driver, you're whatever. But nobody knows the dreams that are in your heart, which you yourself know you can do. You know you can do this. Whether it's your own business, whether it's singing, whether it's something that you enjoy doing. And the fact of the matter is, the things that you enjoy doing, if those become your job, it becomes less work, and just doing what you enjoy doing. And so I've learned this week, and for this whole year and years past, and probably I'll keep learning it for years to come, is that there are people in your corner that got your back. They love you. They see your assets. They see the stuff that you are actually good at. And they see the stuff that you don't even see about yourself. So take those things that they say, put them into your rocket ship, and use them as fuel to launch you. Because if you fly towards the moon and you miss, you'll end up
In the
star.
clouds. No, stars are further than the moon.
No, they're not. They're
Yes,
right
they
next
are.
to the moon.
The moon is way closer than the
No,
sun,
but you
bro.
gotta go to stars so you can land on
The
the moon.
closest star is the sun,
So
and the
if you-
moon is closer.
So you gotta hit the stars, and then if you go for the sun, then you can. If you hit the stars, then you end up on the sun.
Des, I hear you.
What's that say?
He's working on a puppet show. I mess with that idea.
Okay, Des says he's
Des
working
bends
on a
wire
puppet
and
show.
makes puppets.
Needs some ideas on Black History to start.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mess with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you shoot for the sun, you will land on the moon.
If you shoot for the stars,
The stars, you will still be
you'll still
amongst the clouds.
don't want to be in the clouds.
Where are you trying to be?
Listen, if you're in the clouds, people say, "Is your head in the clouds?" That means you're flying.
Yeah,
you
that's
don't know
because
where
you shot for the moon. You gotta shoot for the
you gotta
sun.
shoot
For the sun.
for the sun.
And that way, if you miss,
you end up on the
you
moon.
land on the moon. All right, everybody.
It's space.
Thank you for joining us for this another episode of the Black Multiverse Theory podcast. Always so much fun. Episode 88. We will see you again next week for episode 89. In the meantime, I hear it's going to be +3 this weekend. So, yeah, enjoy. Get some fresh air.
Fly me to the moon.